What's up, everybody? Welcome back or welcome to the Protect Our Queens podcast presented by Basketball Society. With me, as always, my brother in Christ, my partner in women's basketball crime, the founder of Basketball Society, Martin Sori's my guy.
What's up, man? Feeling good, feeling great. Another great night to talk some women's hoops. We're live here on a Tuesday night. Welcome to the Protect Our Queens podcast. We got some WNBA Finals to talk about tonight. The series could be over. So the series could be over this week. that could be where we're headed. Marcus has got his teacher shirt on, looking real teacherish right now.
Yeah.
You look good. You look like a grown man, like a grown working man.
I try my best. Jeremy,
what's
my
up,
guy.
Jeremy? What's good, man?
I will tell you. So I've got a kid in my first block class. I wore these. I've got these boots that have, like the dress shoes that have like the buckle on them and like the strap.
Mm-hmm.
I've got boots like that, but the strap and the buckle mean nothing because they're zip up. So I put those on today. This morning was a little rough. So let me dress a little bit spiffier than I normally do, make me feel good about myself. And he was going on me all day about those shoes.
Cooking you
all day.
Cooking you.
Like, every time he saw me, he's like, "Mr. Marcus, why your shoes so long?" I was like, "Bro, I got big feet. What do you want from me?"
Cooking you.
Every time he saw me with those shoes. And it didn't help that the buckle and the strap was a little bit longer up my ankle, so like my pants wasn't flush on the top of my shoe like they normally are. So like they look jacked up. He was like, every time he just had something to say every time he saw me. I love that kid. That kid's one of my favorite kids. But he every chance he got, he was going on me.
So the stats are in. I saw earlier, game 1 of the WNBA Finals broke the record, most watched game 1 in WNBA Finals history. 1.9 million viewers, peaked at 2.5 million. Not too bad. Not too bad. A lot of people watching. Whole lot of people watching.
Well, they said nobody would watch basketball if a certain someone would be playing, and
well,
every time. This was like the most watched. This season was actually more watched than last season.
Well, yeah, and I mean there are still people, including everybody, whoever's playing or not, but there's still people to this day claiming that people don't watch women's basketball or that it's not entertaining. They're true. They're still out here. They're still out here trying their hardest, but it's bad for them. It's bad for them with people like me out here. I promise you, it's bad because I will highlight the uneducated, the misinformed real quickly. But all the evidence is out here. I don't have to do too much. I don't have to say too much.
But this has been the thing I love about this final so far is you see like some people on thread some of how like this series is the perfect like drug-free, perfect basketball series you could ask for. Like you've got 2 really good teams, 2 good coaches, lots of good players. There's no drama. It's just good hoops. Like there's not a lot of like undertones, overtones, things of nature, and people want to watch that. And it's really great.
Phoenix might need to create some drama to get themselves back in this thing because it's like, I don't know. I feel like things have been a little too peaceful and respectful compared to their last couple of series. And
that's a good point.
We'll talk about that some more in a little bit. But they need something. They need something to turn around and change. They need a spark in the thing. They might need some drama at this point. Yeah. But we'll see.
We are going to be reacting to Jackie Young's stellar performance in game 2. We're talking a little bit about how Alyssa Thomas can be better, be more impactful, more productive. We don't really know what the right language is there. We're going to talk a little about Alyssa Thomas. Then, of course, we're going to make our predictions for tomorrow's game 3. All that and so much more next on Protect Our Queens.
Protect our queens.
They told me A'ja Wilson wasn't marketable, bro.
Do you practice this? Was this spur of the moment?
Is Juju Watkins better than Caitlin Clark? I feel like people have been saying that already.
I mean, there's the argument that she was the best point guard as a rookie last year.
I still think Arike is a better basketball player than Sabrina Ionescu is.
Nafisa Collier is unstoppable right now.
Maybe, just maybe, Nafisa Collier is breathing down her neck. A'ja Wilson knows it too. The one thing that drew me to Dwayne Wade for Jackie Young is I remember how a lot of times we talk about Dwayne Wade, it's always like, oh, like Dwayne Wade could have been an MVP several years, if not for this other person, right? Like, oh, like Dwayne Wade has potential to be, Dwayne Wade at times was the best defensive guard in the NBA. And you and I had a conversation about how, Jackie Young, top 10 talent. Jeremy said tonight, Jackie Young, top 5 player in the WNBA right now. Jackie Young, we've seen countless times. She's made multiple All-WNBA teams. She's made multiple All-Defensive teams. Like, she has at times been the best player on this team. And as we alluded to on the show last week, in the week before that, Jackie Young at one point in time was in conversations with Kalia Copper. And again, we love how this all just works together for this finals matchup as being one of the best, if not the best, two-way players in the WNBA. And we've seen that over these past, over this past playoff run. Jackie Young, 32 points in game 2. 21 of those points came in the third quarter, a finals record, playoff record, most points ever scored in a single quarter. Jackie Young has gone off. Martin and I both talked about how important this matchup between Jackie Young and Kalia Copper would be. So far, it seems like, not even seems like, so far, Jackie Young is winning that matchup. But Martin, as we look to game 3 tomorrow, what does Phoenix need to do to try to stop Jackie Young, slow down Jackie Young, whatever words you want to throw there, neutralize Jackie Young? What's in your mind? What's the game plan there for Phoenix?
They gotta switch something up. They probably have to start doubling her more and getting the ball out of her hands. The problem is that between the first 2 games, and I think, yeah, it's fair to say Jackie's winning the matchup with Cobb mainly because of game 2. Like, she had a historic performance in game 2, but Kalia has been really good in both games for Phoenix as well. So if you really stacked it up, I don't know, because Jackie wasn't as special in game 1, so it might balance out. Ka has been good in both games, and we'll talk about that because they feel with Phoenix they probably need to use her more. But I think this is more, it's about like the onslaught of the guards, because in game 1, it was Jewel Lloyd and Dana Evans off the bench. They both got 20 points off the bench, if I'm not mistaken, right? They both had 20. I think Dana Evans had 21. Jewel had 20.
Might have had 18, I think, but Dana definitely
18. Yeah, but yeah, right. They combined for 40 points. I'm pretty sure either way. And for like, I don't even know if stopping. I mean, how do you stop Jackie Young? Again, probably start doubling her more, but getting the ball out of her hands means the ball is going to somebody else, and it's going to Asia, or it's going to Chelsea Gray, or it's going to Jewel Lloyd. All of Vegas's guards are hurting Phoenix. So the way it's looked through these first couple games, especially in game 2, was like an onslaught of different people. I told you, it just felt like different people on Vegas were just taking over the game at different points. Asia has 20 points in the first half. Jackie goes on her run, 21 in the third quarter. It's like for stretches in the first half, Chelsea Gray and Asia were literally just overpowering the Mercury. It's just the two of them just going crazy on them. So, like, yeah, game 2, it became a run of Jackie Young, and Jackie's been great. But Phoenix has like such a bigger problem than just Jackie Young at this point. It's like, I don't know, because we've already seen her not be. She wasn't that special in game 1. Vegas still won. That game was a lot closer. So I don't know if they're looking to slow down Jackie. They're going to have to. I mean, if Jackie's going to be playing in this kind of rhythm right now, you're not going to stop her. That's really the bottom line, is that she has looked, Marcus, the stuff she was doing in that third quarter. I don't remember the last time I watched an individual player just dominate a team by themselves that way from a scoring standpoint. Coming off the ball screen, pull up threes, play the mid-range game, playing with her body, like I told you, with her pace, how she likes to feel you out when she comes off the screen and then make the read. She had a couple start-stop moves. Hit Sammy Whitcomb off with the spin back when she got in between. Like, she literally in that 21 point stretch in the third quarter hit you off with everything. If she's playing like that, like, they don't have an answer for her. You got to put Alyssa Thomas on her, and they don't have the luxury of doing that. So yeah, bro, Jackie Finals MVP, it's obviously between her and Asia. We'll see, man. If Jackie's playing like this, man, bro, last week you said you made the Dwayne Wade comparison, bro. I think she hit off. Who was it? Was it Satou? Who was it in the first half? She hit off with the right to left cross, and then the one.
I think that was Satou. I think that was.
I think it might have been Satou. Yo, she was moving and looking different in that game. It was crazy because that was the closest I've seen her actually looking to Dwayne Wade after you had made that comparison last week. I'm like, man, that's what that was looking like, man. She's and we said, like, if that's the kind of run she should go on.
06 D Wade run.
Really how good she is.
Yeah,
bro, that was looking like, I mean, she's been great, but that was looking different, bro. She literally, I mean, shot making in between, mid-range, threes, getting to the basket, like everything clean, everything sharp, smooth at her own pace. Just like, oh snap, she's just too good for them right now.
Yeah. I mean, to your point, honestly, I think you kind of hinted at what the answer is. The answer is putting Alyssa Thomas on Jackie Young. Like, that has to be the answer, I think. And at this point, with how Jackie's feeling, it might not stop her. It might not neutralize her, but it might slow. Like, Alyssa Thomas has the best shot of slowing Jackie Young down. The problem is, and you and I talked about this on the show last week, and I think we talked about it even the week before that, the one thing that we've seen Jackie do a little bit more of lately is not settling for the jumpers. Not because she can't hit them, because we know that she can, but you and I've talked about before how sometimes it looks like in these games, Jackie Young is settling for the pull-up three or settling up for the pull-up midi when she has the size and the strength and the physical ability to drive to the basket and finish that way. The only downside, of course, for Phoenix putting Alyssa Thomas on Jackie Young is Alyssa Thomas can end up in foul trouble. And as I've said several times throughout the course of the playoffs, Alyssa Thomas is the Phoenix Mercury offense. Because as you've mentioned before, both on and off the show, they don't have a true point guard. So the risk reward factor is you risk putting Alyssa Thomas on Jackie Young and getting in foul trouble, which means she's not in the game when you need her to be. So now you're relying on Kalia Copper or Akoa Makani, God forbid, Sammy Whitcomb, or even Satou Sabally to be orchestrating this offense. Or Alyssa Thomas doesn't get in foul trouble and she plays really good defense and Jackie Young isn't as big of a threat. Like, that's the risk reward factor right now. And I'm interested to see going into tomorrow how I'm willing to bet if we see Alyssa Thomas matched up on Jackie Young more, that means Nate Tibbetts really, really, really wants to win this series. Not saying he doesn't want to win this series already, but that is such a big risk where to me that would show just how committed he is to turning the series around for the Mercury and giving them a puncher's chance at winning this series. But I was planning on coming on here and saying Satou, but it's like I don't even know if in Satou's, I think she's like 6'3", 6'4", she's long, like she can stay in front of Jackie. But again, it's the same thing. And the difference, of course, between Alyssa Thomas and Satou's not facilitating the offense, but Satou has been their most consistent scorer. So it's like you still take that. That's another risk. It's like, well, if Satou's out on the floor, who's hitting those shots other than Kalia Copper? Because as you and I have talked about, Alyssa Thomas doesn't have, specifically from the perimeter, because there is no shot making, shot creating ability when Satou's not on the floor other than Kalia Copper from the perimeter, like consistently. It's a catch-22. It's a difficult thing that Nate Tibbetts is going to have to figure out, and I don't envy being in his position going into Game 3 because I'm not saying Jackie Young is going to go off for 30 again tomorrow night, but she's not going to have another quiet 10-point game like she did in Game 1. That's for sure.
Well, they got to switch. I was shocked they weren't trying out a zone in that game too. Like they were literally just getting cooked. They've been getting cooked in both games. They've been getting cooked, and yeah, Jackie's at the point of attack with that. I think, I mean, Kalia Copper is obviously, like we talked about coming in. I mean, that's supposed to be the ideal matchup for Jackie. I think the problem is, again, Jackie's playing at a certain level. Like Ka has been very good offensively, obviously always competes defensively. And she's their best matchup from a guard standpoint. But in order for Phoenix to defend Jackie, forcing her to take bad shots, prevent her from getting their spots. Yeah, I mean, they have to get, I mean, this is the biggest kind of storyline when it comes to Phoenix overall right here, is that they are not bullying, moving around, dare I say, intimidating this team the way that they did New York and the way that they did Minnesota. That is a clear difference to me in terms of looking at Phoenix's demeanor, their body language, even their confidence. I think I think Ryan Rucco or Rebecca Lobo brought it up that they were talking to Becky Hammon about this coming into the series, talking about the matchup with AT and Asia. And I'm pretty sure they were saying, and of course I'm paraphrasing, but they said something to the effect of Becky pointed out that Alyssa Thomas matches up with Asia means that she's finally up against someone who's just as strong as her, who she can't bully around. And obviously, like IQ wise, and with Asia's length and her quickness, she's really the ideal kind of, stopper or matchup for AT. And, we're going to talk more about AT here in a little bit, but if to keep the focus on Jackie, it's just that like their guards, Phoenix's guards or AT, whoever it is, their defensive style, they either have to try out some zone possessions. Indiana did it some successfully against Vegas in their series. They either have to try out some zone or they're going to have to like find and assuming they might be able to find some of this playing back at home and players will play better back at home. But they're going to have to start picking up further ahead. Like Jackie and them, they're just comfortable. They're getting whatever they want. Like it doesn't look like the same Phoenix that is making things tough for you defensively with their, with their length and their toughness, their physicality. Like they're not imposing their will on Vegas so far. Vegas is imposing their will. Jackie is imposing her will. Chelsea Gray, like, and I talk so much about the guards, and I said coming in, like, this is the guards will determine a lot with this matchup, and you're seeing that. I mean, already through 2 games, multiple guards for Vegas have made major plays, have had big scoring games. All of the guards, Dana Evans included, Jewel Lloyd, Chelsea Gray, all of the guards are cooking, not just playing well. All of Vegas's guards are cooking and confident and playing at a high level. Phoenix can't say the same. But yeah, I don't think stopping Jackie is even they're in a tough spot. But yeah, I mean, the thing about Jackie is like, again, we're watching her. This is the best I've ever seen. I think this is the best we've ever seen her. We're going to see if this is just how she is now in game 3. If she's coming out like just playing like this again, this series is over. Like, I mean, stopping Jackie means, again, it's just like you would stop anyone. Be more physical, take away their easy looks, meet them on help side drives. Like you have to just like keen in on them more. So stopping her just means showing her more attention, not letting her get off the simple, easy things as much in the next game. I think, again, playing at home, you can expect Phoenix to play with more intensity, ferocity. Like they're going to give it their all. It's basically an elimination game with them being down 2-0. So they're going to come with a certain level of energy in this game. So, and a certain level of intensity. And that's what it's going to take. And, Vegas can afford to drop one game. So not to say they're going to come out lethargic, but like I said, unless Jackie is coming out like saying like, no, I'm feeling like I'm the best player out here. Y'all can't stop me. Let's keep this thing rolling. Unless y'all are going to like stop me from what I'm doing, I'm going to keep cooking y'all. If that's the version of Jackie we're getting, then we're looking at a sweep, brother. We're looking at the season being over in a few days.
That very may well be the case. We're going to take a quick break, and we come back on the other side of this break. We're going to talk a little bit more about Alyssa Thomas and her impact on this series.
You know what? Every man that used to play basketball in high school that was decent, like every man's dream is to go to their nearest LA Fitness and ball out. Like, hit the game-winning shot, something. Like, and you know what I do when I'm bored, when I'm like really tired, like when I'm chilling but relaxed, but I just want to look at some TikTok, I just want to scroll. I go pull up these girls that walk in random LA Fitnesses and be giving dudes that work, that twerk, okay? Balling, Jimmy release, super slow, but they wet every time, no point intended. You know what I'm saying? Going crazy. Walking and bodying dudes. Like, I'm like, yo, this is great. This is great entertainment. This is great entertainment. You know what I mean? They go crazy. We got to protect our queens. We got to protect our queens. Give them they love. Give them they just do. You know how hard it is for a girl to walk into a LA Fitness full of dudes reliving a dream that has been deflated and cook 'em extra crispy. Yes, it takes skill. It takes candor. You know what I mean? Protect Our Queens. Shout out to Protect Our Queens podcast. Holla.
Jackie Young is cooking the Phoenix Mercury extra crispy.
Extra crispy.
Extra crispy. Let's switch gears now. Talk a little bit about Alyssa Thomas. Alyssa Thomas, obviously the best player on the Phoenix Mercury. She was second runner-up for MVP. You and I have talked about before how, like, is it possible for Alyssa Thomas to have a bad game? Maybe, maybe not, just given her style of play. But I do want to take us back for just a second, back to when we had Dan, a good guy, Dan Thompson, on the show a couple weeks ago. And I asked, we asked the question, who was more important, Alyssa Thomas or Nafisa Collier? And I said Alyssa Thomas, and here's why. Alyssa Thomas set a bunch of records this year. Not only did she set the record for the most total assists in a season, and not only did she set a record or come close to setting a record for most assists averaged in a season, Alyssa Thomas set the record for the most points responsible for this season. In fact, there was a point in time towards the end of the season where she was responsible for more points than every player in the WNBA scored except for Kelsey Mitchell and Asia Wilson. There is no Phoenix Mercury offense without Alyssa Thomas. That's number one. There's no Phoenix Mercury defense without Alyssa Thomas either. Like, I know she wasn't one of the co-defensive player of the years, whatever the heck that means, but there is no defense in Phoenix without Alyssa Thomas.
Hey, if you're watching live, we appreciate you tapping in with us. Make sure you tap in the comments while you're watching live and join the conversation. If you're watching on the playback, hit us in the comments below. The WNBA Finals may very well be done by the time you even see this video, but leave some comments anyway and tap in, subscribe with the channel. We appreciate you guys watching.
I want to go back to this comment that was posted a little bit ago. It says, if y'all think AT is the only office of Phoenix, you don't watch the games. Ka's been a bigger factor in this series than anyone else in the Mercury. So again,
it's true.
Scoring, I don't disagree with you, obviously. Right. But when I talk about Alyssa Thomas being the offense for the Phoenix Mercury, here's a stat that I pulled that I didn't even know about, right? So if you take a look at Phoenix's average points per possession in transition versus in the half court, Phoenix averages 1.2 points per possession in transition, which means at the very least, if they're in the fast break, if they're in transition, at the very least, they are getting to the free throw line and hitting one free throw. In the half court offense, Phoenix over the past couple of games has been averaging less than a point per game in the half court. They're not even getting to the free throw line on average on these possessions. And so when I think about when I see Alyssa Thomas at her best, usually when I think about when I see Phoenix's offense at their best, the answer to this question, how can AT counter Vegas in their defense? For me, it's Alyssa Thomas just has to get back to playing better defense, forcing steals, forcing turnovers, and getting this offense in transition, because that's when their offense is at their best. That's what the numbers tell me. The other thing, too, and I know you talk about this a lot in the Lynx and Liberty series, and it was something that you were keeping an eye on leading into this series. It's the inverted screen that we kept seeing Phoenix go back to over and over and over again for Alyssa Thomas. And I had mentioned, too, that one thing I noticed a little bit in game one, but especially in game two when I went to go watch it back, is it seemed like a lot more, Vegas was a lot more intentional with they didn't run a lot of zone in game two. But when they did run zone, even when they didn't, they were very intentional about, like, if Asia was the one on Alyssa Thomas when she's bringing the ball before they're doing this in their screen, they would bring, let's say, Jackie Young up, for example, and they would almost and Jackie Young would almost kind of do to Asia what you see a lot of, like, running backs do in the NFL, but she would just take her hand and just put her hand right on Asia's lower back and just wait to see where Alyssa Thomas was going to go. And if Alyssa Thomas was, let's say, going to the left of the screen and Asia couldn't get there, Jackie would switch. Yeah. And if not, Asia would. And you see that a lot.
And they would meet her there. Like Jewel Lloyd did it a couple times too. Like they meet her at the point of the screen as opposed to
exactly as opposed to
waiting for her to come to them.
And what I find to be most interesting about that is, as we all know, if you don't know, Alyssa Thomas doesn't have any labrums. She plays with 2 torn labrums, and the reason why is because she tore her left labrum first, I think, and then she ended up tearing her right labrum, and she never wanted to take the time off to get the labrum surgery. So she's been playing with 2 torn labrums. So if you ever watch the Phoenix Mercury play basketball, that push shot that Alyssa Thomas does is because she has no labrums, the things that make your shoulders do all that. She doesn't have them. Alyssa Thomas isn't a threat from the perimeter. So the way that the Aces are able to guard this inverted screen, it's because they know, unlike a player like Kelsey Mitchell, who they saw torch them several times over the course of that last series against Indiana before her body literally gave out on her, they don't have to worry about Alyssa Thomas staying on the perimeter and shooting a 3 the way they did with Kelsey Mitchell, because that's not in her game. And so the way that they've been able to neutralize that inverted screen, it almost kind of made me think anyway, well, where else can Alyssa Thomas get her points? Where else can Alyssa Thomas be impactful and push the pace? And that has to come from the transition, because they're doing such a good job. They're doing such a good job of guarding that inverted screen. They're doing such a good job of tracking the ball and staying on the ball at all times, forcing the Phoenix into bad shots, late shots in the shot clock, or just straight up shot clock violations, where like either Alyssa Thomas is getting the ball in transition and getting her shots open in the fast break, or this offense isn't really as fluid as we're used to them seeing. And so it's a really weird thing to say in order for AT to counter the way they're defending the screen is getting like, that's really what, like, she just has to force turnovers. She's got to get them running, because Kai Copper can hit shots in transition. Satou can hit shots in transition. Nicole McConaughey can do it. It's like they have a team that is designed and built to do so. They have to get back to doing that. And unfortunately for Phoenix on the defensive side of the ball, they haven't been forcing Vegas into those situations where they're not able to get back on defense. That, I think, is part of what could be part of the answer to the Mercury winning tomorrow.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a big thing missing. And that's a big difference between how we saw them be effective against New York and Minnesota. They're not getting out in transition and running on Vegas yet, like they've been able to do. Phoenix, ironically, is doing exactly what the Lynx did in the last series, taking ill-advised shots and not being aggressive on defense is not there. I actually look at the play of Sammy Whitcomb as really being a detriment to Alyssa Thomas. I felt like Sammy Whitcomb played off Alyssa Thomas so well in that Minnesota series with her quick trigger and her shot making, and even just her savvy. She played really well in that Minnesota series for Phoenix. And again, with her outside shooting ability as a guard, and not just as an outside shooter, because like you said, Ka can hit shots, Satou can hit shots, but the way Sammy Whitcomb plays as like a guard, one of those guards that kind of like keeps moving, you know what I mean? Like she creates a lot of motion. And in the 2-player game with AT, it felt like they just had a lot of symmetry there. Again, mainly because Sammy can space off of her. And when they try to play that inverted screen action, Sammy can kind of slip out of it, fade out to the 3-point line, and get herself a look. They got so many looks between the two of them in the Minnesota and the New York series, honestly. And Sammy Whitcomb has not done a thing for Phoenix in the first 2 games. Nothing. The shot hasn't been falling. I feel like Okoa Makani is a better, like, just athletically, I think she's just a better fit for Phoenix in this matchup against Vegas and their guards. But man, Sammy Whitcomb, for what she was giving them in those previous series versus what she's given them in these first 2 games, it's not even close. Like, Phoenix doesn't have a chance. Again, Phoenix has some real issues here. Say they have a Sammy Whitcomb problem. I wouldn't call it an Alyssa Thomas problem, but I think the way other players are playing, it's time to start. You know, Satou has kind of been on her hot and cold thing. Now she's got the ankle thing. We'll see how that looks with her, right? We agree Kali has been good, but the Phoenix has like fallen into, I mean, game 2 was kind of a mess offensively, bro. Those possessions were like, they were bad.
They were dreadful.
They got back into like that weird, funky shot selection, one pass and shot, dribble up and shot. Like, it's
just dribbling up on the right and just taking the first look she sees.
Yeah. And unfortunately, DeWanna Bonner has fluctuated really all playoffs. And I hate to say this about DeWanna. She's an all-time great, but honestly, she has fluctuated from looking washed to looking like, oh, okay, she's still here. She can hoop. She can contribute. Because, like, she'll hit a couple shots, but then she'll airball a couple. And then I've told you my big thing, like with Phoenix and the way they're constructed, they want to play those small lineups. DeWanna Bonner is not, her length helps in terms of size, and that's been a big part of what they do and why they can play small. But at her age and with her frame, she's not the type of versatile inside outside presence, particularly on defense, on offense and defense, but especially on defense, where she can't help out AT on that Asia matchup. She can't switch off on Asia. It's food every time. Heck, Dana Evans has been going at DeWanna Bonner.
Dude,
like
Chelsea
she's
Gray
food.
was going at DeWanna
Man,
Bonner.
I'm
Everybody
DeWanna
got
Bonner.
him.
DeWanna Bonner has fluctuated from liability, like washed liability, and then, next few plays, like she could hit a shot. So I'm like, I feel like they kind of have to live with it. But man, Phoenix has that bench that you said was the best in the league at one point. It ain't looking like it anymore. Not even, they're getting nothing from their bench so far. So again, one of those things where you figure might improve from playing at home. But I feel like the AT question, as far as how she can counter Vegas, she needs her teammates. She thrives off of her teammates hitting shots and making plays for them. So if DeWanna's not hitting, and not only if they're not hitting, but if it's not in the flow of like actions involving AT, it kind of just takes away from her momentum, because that's what gets them going.
So you expect AT to be good at guarding everyone and not other? No, I didn't say that. What I'm saying is Alyssa Thomas. Think about the New York Liberty series, right? Think back to the Minnesota Lynx series, even when Alyssa Thomas was being aggressive as an on-ball defender, regardless of who her matchup was at any point in time. When she was being aggressive as an on-ball defender, and she was forcing turnovers, whether it was errant passes, whether it was live ball turnovers, and getting those into transition, that's when we saw the confidence of this Phoenix Mercury team excel. I am not at all suggesting that Alyssa Thomas switch on to all 5 members of the Las Vegas Aces every single defensive possession. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying, though, is if A'ja Wilson's her matchup, she has to do a better job of guarding A'ja Wilson, because this comment here says if AT guards Jackie, A'ja might average 40. If A'ja doesn't miss some easy looks that she normally hits, she could be averaging 40 right now with Alyssa Thomas on her. So like it's not really now to this point. That's why I said earlier why it's such a big risk reward factor with maybe having AT pick up Jackie Young more in that matchup is now you're putting A'ja in even more of an advantageous situation. But what Alyssa Thomas has in strength abundantly in horizontal size, she lacks in vertical size. I'm 6'2". A'ja Wilson 6'3", 6'4". She's taller than me. She's taller than Martin, or maybe Martin's. She's taller than Alyssa Thomas. It's like, yes, Alyssa Thomas is physical. Yes, Alyssa Thomas is a bully, so to speak. But Alyssa Thomas isn't. She's not Aaliyah Boston, bro.
Well, like, she's not, and
Boston, but size-wise, like that matters. So it's not.
And think about that, bro. Isn't that crazy that for her team, she kind of is the Aaliyah Boston? She's the most physical presence on her team. Satou as well, but like AT literally has the brand of bully ball. Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about with the fact that they play small, and the Alyssa Thomas thing is a real conundrum, because she's your best point guard, but she's also what I just said. She's your enforcer. She's your best matchup for the strongest inside player, but she can't do all of that. She just can't. So, I mean, I'm not preaching a she needs more help thing. I'm just, I can't keep talking while I'm reading. Might have to put Alyssa at the 5 and start the Sammy from the bench. Maybe starting Sammy could get her going earlier. Takes the center out. That's not a threat. And then Phoenix will be faster and better offensively. Well, I mean, I don't think they need more speed and small. I think they need to try to go bigger. I think Kalani Brown might need some more minutes, because Vegas isn't shy about going with 2 bigs. They've gone with A'ja and Megan. They've gone with A'ja and Liz. Like they're not matching up to Phoenix. They're sticking with some big lineups. And that's where, so to all of these last few points, that's where I think Nate Tibbetts needs to experiment with some kind of matchup zone here. That might allow AT to roam, where she can end up being on Jackie and on A'ja in the same possession. The answer to that is go zone, use a zone where she can be the middle roamer. Like you can cook that up in a defensive scheme in a zone where you can try to cover more ground that way. They're just losing these matchups. They're getting cooked. Like I think they have to try a zone here. But I'll also say what you're talking about and what we're talking about here with Alyssa Thomas, I've spoke on it a little earlier. And this really is what makes Asia special. This is a way to praise Asia because, again, Alyssa Thomas with the turnovers you talked about and her swiping the ball. We saw Chelsea Gray swipe it from her three times in a row on the same possession. And that's exactly that possession is a microcosm of what I'm talking about when it comes to AT in this series. She's got guards like Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray, swiping, banging, strong, like we'll play with you. And then her main matchup is Asia. AT has a lot of work to do in these matchups. She can't bully these people like she bullied, nothing against these players, but she bullied Nafisa. She bullied her. She did in that series. She out-toughed her. She was more physical. She wore her down, honestly. That's what happened in that series. She was able to do that with Stewie as well. And it's crazy. It's unfortunate and crazy, but both of them got hurt. Stewie got hurt in that first series. Fee got hurt in the last series. AT just been banging people up each series. Now she's up against Asia and the Aces, and it's like, oh, I can't like move them the way I've been moving people. There are times when it's there and she finds her spots, and there are moments, but just straight up, it's not that. So defensively, I just think she needs a lot of help. I think they need to try different things. And then offensively, she really needs her teammates. Sammy Whitcomb has to do something. They need her playing the way she was playing against Minnesota. That playing off of AT like that is their best bet. And I don't see as much like of the action with their backdoor cutting. I mean, I don't see I hadn't seen a lot more of that motion
in game one than we did in game two. Like in
for
game
sure.
one, that's what kept them in the game was Ka going on a backdoor cut, or you saw Akoa Makani or even Satou do it a couple of times. Didn't see that much in game two. They gotta, like you said, there are. It's more than just one thing on both sides of the ball for them. Right now.
They have multiple problems. They have multiple problems.
Yeah. Well, let's switch gears now and make a prediction for game three. But in order to do that, let's actually go back to the show last week. Kali Copper, Slobber Knocker. I want a Whopper. Aces and 5. Okay. That's from Satou Sabali, Beef and Broccoli. I'm an anomaly. Aces and 5. I don't know what else to say. Nate Tibbetts. Frog goes ribbit. Something else that rhymes with ribbit. Lakers and 5. The Aces. Listen to me. Matter of fact, listen to me. You listen to me. You listen to me right now.
Okay? Wow.
The Las Vegas Aces are going to win this championship. They're going to do it. And when it happens, I will be back on this. You thought the GOAT mask was bad after a championship? You thought the GOAT mask was. If the Las Vegas Aces win this championship, I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. Can I just talk about, just for just a second, can I just talk about like the roller coaster of emotions that has been this season? No matter what happens tomorrow. The Las Vegas Aces coming into the season. What did I say, Martin? First episode of the show when we were doing a preview. The morning of the first night of the season. What did I say? I said A'ja Wilson's going to win Fifth Player of the Year. She won an MVP in the Fifth Player of the Year. Right? We go on, and this team looks terrible. This team is not good going into the All-Star break. They're like 13-14, 14-14, something like that. They were flirting with. We were on this show talking about whether or not Chelsea Gray needed to be traded, whether or not someone on this team, a guard, the guards that we've praised all night. We were talking about 4 months ago. One of them needs to be traded so that we can figure out what's going on here. They make a trade for an Alyssa Smith, not nearly the trade that either of us expected. I even said leading into the trade out, maybe you go get a Steph Dolson, a vet, someone who can space the floor a little bit, be an additional body. They go out there, get an Alyssa Smith, and what a trade it was. And again, I was a little bit upset because I'm like, yo, Aaliyah Edwards is out there. We gonna get an Alyssa Smith. Like, no disrespect, but Aaliyah Edwards. So we go from that to getting mollywopped, almost cuss on here, mollywopped, beat down by the Minnesota Lynx, lost by 53 points. A'ja Wilson hits the chat. If you're good with what happened that last game, don't show up for work tomorrow. What happens? 16 straight wins to close out the season to secure the number 2 seed. Wins the first game of the first round, make it 17 straight before ultimately losing in game 2, beating the Seattle Storm in 3 games, beating the Indiana Fever in 5. And now here we are potentially after all of that. And both of those 2 series, I told you, years off my life. Years off. I don't know how old I'm going to be when I die, but I'm pretty sure those 2 series cut off a decade of my life, probably at the minimum. Now we're sitting here on the eve of game 3 of the WNBA Finals. A'ja Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces are up 2-0 with a chance to take a commanding 3-0 lead. So, Martin Torres, I need to know from you, sir. When we head into game 4 on what I believe is going to be on Friday, when we head into game 4, will it be a 2-1 series, or will we be looking at the Phoenix Mercury potentially having to avoid being swept in game 4? Who do you have winning tomorrow and why?
I think I have Vegas winning, bro. I want to pick Phoenix because I just think they have to play better at home, and I think they will. But I am highly discouraged for Phoenix, and I picked Vegas to win. I said it would go 7 because I thought both of these teams were ready to bring it every game, and I thought we'd have more of a back and forth. But I am highly discouraged by what I'm seeing from Phoenix in the first 2 games. For them to lose the bench battle and the reserve battle this badly, while A'ja is winning the matchup with Alyssa Thomas, and Jackie Young is winning, I think, by a small margin, the matchup with Kalia Copper. Satou has been up and down. Chelsea Gray, you could say Chelsea Gray is not that Satou is her matchup, but she's playing better than Satou. It just looks like a team in Vegas. And we talked about this, and you made the really good point when we were talking about this the other day, that Vegas has players who have won together. We talked about how both of these teams have multiple champions, former finals MVPs. Like, both teams have players that have won and know how to win. The difference is Phoenix, this team just came together. This is the first year of the big 3, first year of these winners, of them playing together. Vegas has won with these players. They have, their core 3 obviously are the ones who were here and won together before. So not only do they know how to win, they've done it together. They know how to do it together. And it just feels like that's what we're watching. It just feels like that's what you're watching, from like the coach. Like, I think Nate Tibbetts has done a great job with Phoenix, like, all year. And I'm not trying to give their obituary here. I'm just saying, I think game 3 is going to show us a lot about what Nate Tibbetts, obviously the players and the team, but like what that coaching staff is made of, because they've got to try some things out. Again, this is an elimination game, but I still think the matchup, I still think A'ja, someone on Vegas, at least 2 players on Vegas seem ready and committed to being great, and anywhere from great to special. And I think A'ja is going to come out and have a really strong game 3. I think they are going to come out looking to put them away. So hopefully this is the first game, obviously much better than game 2. I'm hoping game 3 is similar to game 1 in that we get like a game down to the wire, like both teams really playing closer to their best. But I just, man, so many question marks with Phoenix. Again, Satou's ankle, I think they'll play better at home, but I don't know, man. I want to say Phoenix could win the next 2 games. I want to say they can do it back at home. I want to say, again, for the sake of my pick, because I said it's going 7, but I got to see something in game 3. And the way I'm feeling right now, I have to pick Vegas in game 3. No matter what kind of game it is, listen, the tighter the game is, I trust Vegas. The higher scoring the game is, I trust Vegas. The more I trust Vegas too much based on what we've seen in the first 2 games. It unless I see something different in the way the game starts in the opening game, in the opening series of game 3, I'm like, man, Vegas is going to win this game. They're going to put them away.
You said you weren't going to eulogize the Phoenix Mercury, I am. I'm going to eulogize the Phoenix Mercury.
It's over. That's it.
I'm going to eulogize the Phoenix Mercury. I have no reason, based on the first 80 minutes of football, I mean, basketball I've watched from this basketball team. Jeez, football on mine. I don't know why. Based on the first 80 minutes of this series I've seen for them, I have no reason to believe that the Phoenix Mercury are going to win tomorrow. Now, I will give you credit, right? We talked about this before. The Phoenix Mercury, they've had their backs at the walls. Their role players play great at home. This is a team, I have said this before, they returned 2 starters from last year. The only other team that were started just as many, if not fewer than them, were the Dallas Wings. We see where they're at, right? They had a lot of rookies, lots going on. But when you've got Alyssa Thomas not looking like Alyssa Thomas, when Satou is just hot and cold, when Kalia is not being the wing perimeter defender that we know her to be, and when shots just, I mean, you said DeWanna Bonner might be washed, bro. And no disrespect to DB, but like, if this is what we're matched up with,
that's not going to do it. You can't have a potentially washed player playing significant minutes and expect to beat the Las Vegas Aces.
You cannot.
That won't add up. And again, I'm not accusing DeWanna of being fully washed yet, because she's had some moments. She can still hit shots. She can still, but man, look, the way they're set up playing small, it's a disadvantage. It's a disadvantage to her.
I look at the Phoenix Mercury, I look at the Las Vegas Aces, and I say this, right? I say, when it comes to this series, when it comes to the Las Vegas Aces, when it comes to A'ja Wilson, when it comes to the Phoenix Mercury, when it comes to Alyssa Thomas, the only thing left I can say is Alyssa Thomas, Haley's Comet, God made me a promise. Aces in 4. I don't know what else to say, bro. I don't know what else to say. I have nothing else for you. So here's the thing. I am prepared. I've already made the arrangements. I am fully prepared for next week's show. It's gonna be great. You should all be here. I've made the arrangements already. The plan's already in motion. I watched game 2 and I was like, oh, let me just go ahead.
You went all in. Okay.
So the plans, yeah, absolutely. Oh, call on them, please. You might need them. I don't know. The arrangements have already been made, and it was a great series. It's been a great season for the Phoenix Mercury. It's been a great season for the Phoenix. I do not want to discount. It has been a great year. In year 2 of Nate Tibbetts, they're in the WNBA Finals. It's been a great year. First year post DT, you're competing for great year for the Phoenix. Shout out the X Factor, all of them. Love that, right? Natasha Mack, Akoa Makani, Sammy Whitcomb, Catherine Westbelt. Oh, love you guys. You guys have been a great, but
first year without DT. First year removed from Taurasi,
you couldn't ask for anything better than this. I love this.
New practice facility, new facilities. You guys are winning. You guys are great for yourselves. They were great.
There are no moral victories in sports, but if there were one, this would be a massive moral victory for this meeting. So, listen,
crazy, bro.
The arrangements have already been made.
That's crazy.
I don't know what day we're doing the show next week. We might do a show on Monday because I'm off. It's a federal holiday. We might do a show on Monday because I have no work. So I have a lot of energy. You think this is energy. I have a lot of energy. But the arrangements have been made. Okay. So I want you guys, all 32 of you who are watching right now, I want you guys to come back next week. If you aren't already, subscribed to the channel so you can make sure you're back next week because the arrangements have been made. And I really don't want to be disrespectful. But I don't know what else you want me to say. I don't know. I don't know what else you want me to say.
I'm here for it. I told you, bro. And I'm glad you outlined that timeline because I've told you the documentary for this turnaround for this team, they win this title. That story has to keep being told over and over. This team was looking awful.
Yeah. This
team, they weren't just struggling. They weren't just they looked terrible at times this season, particularly before the All-Star break.
It's been a great season for the Phoenix Mercury. It really, really is.
Yo, bro, you
know what this comment reminds me of? You remember that scene from the Spider-Man movie when they're on the roof and Green Goblin sits down on the light fixture and smacks? I feel like I just did that. That's a good point. I feel like I just did that. But yeah, I don't know what else to say, bro. I don't know. You can't possibly tell me that Jackie Young is looking this good. Dana Evans, 21 off the bench, missed 1 shot from 3 in the first quarter. Or in game 1. Jewel Lloyd, what did I say to you in the Fever series? I was concerned. I was like, are they turning Jewel Lloyd into a catch and 3 shooter? Or 3 shooter? but she's
And
playing good defense.
Game
And
one,
she's
she pulled
rotating.
out everything. Game one, she pulled
Absolutely.
out
I said,
everything.
are we back in Seattle, bro?
Are we back?
We back in Seattle with the Jewel Lloyd? Bro, look, all I'm saying is here's what I'm gonna do. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna pull some money together, and I'm gonna order a massive bouquet of flowers, and we're gonna send it to Phoenix personally. And I'm gonna thank the Phoenix Mercury for revitalizing my faith in humanity.
That's crazy.
We're being gifted on a silver platter the Asia Wilson GOAT case. I already told you she was the GOAT, but like we're being gifted on a silver platter.
Yeah.
Again, the arrangements have been made. I look forward to seeing Martin next week. I look forward to seeing all of you guys next week on the show. I'm telling you now, the first 15 minutes of Protect Our Queens next week, you don't want to miss it. Every now and then, the first hour of Raw or the first hour of SmackDown's commercial free. We don't run commercials here often, rarely ever. So you don't have to worry about commercials. Just the first 15 minutes of the show next week are going to be must watch because the next time we come on this show, Asia Wilson.
What are you getting, a tattoo? What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? You talking about arrangements? You got to.
The arrangements have been made. That's all I'm going to say. The arrangements have been made. And I'm excited. I can't wait for next week, bro. The Las Vegas Aces are the 2025 WNBA champions.
Yo, if something happens, if something weird not even weird, but if something changes tomorrow night in the air in this game 3, I maybe I'll do it by myself. Who knows? But I'll obviously we'll be talking, but hopefully nothing drastically changes here because you have gone into guaranteed territory, and I'm not mad at it.
I should. Hey man,
I'm not mad at it. I feel where you're coming from. I think the confidence is warranted, but it's still dangerous. It can be dangerous territory, brother.
Nope, I don't make the rules.
But hey,
I just enforce them. I don't make. And here's how confident I am that this series won't make it out of next week. Because here's the thing: if there is a Game 7, Game 7 is going to be on Friday. We're going to have a show before Friday, and the Las Vegas Aces will be WNBA champions. I promise you. If I had a house, I'd bet on it. There will be a show Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday next week, and we will be on this show reacting to the Las Vegas Aces having won their 3rd WNBA championship in 4 years.
That's what it's feeling like. I mean, that's what it's feeling like. We both picked them. If it happens that quickly, then yeah, I mean, it's very possible that the next time the two of us are here on this show.
I'm telling you, we're going to be on the show on Monday.
Right. You're saying Monday. You're saying Monday regard. That's what.
But this series ain't going 7. This series is not going 7. It might not even.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing it.
Maybe Phoenix gets one tomorrow just so Vegas can close it out at home. Maybe. But it's not happening. The next time you see the Protect Our Queens podcast, the first 15 minutes will be must see because the Las Vegas Aces will be WNBA champions, and I will be on. I will be on Dr. Umar Johnson's internet acting a fool.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys for watching. It's always a pleasure. Always.
Dr. Umar. How did Dr. Umar?
If you're not already, please make sure that I implore you, I beg of you, make sure you are subscribed to Basketball Society and turn on the notification bell because you don't want to miss the first 15 minutes of our show next week. I'm telling you now, you don't want to miss it. So please make sure you're subscribed. I haven't pressed the wrong button. Please make sure you are subscribed if you're not already. And as always, for my guy, Martin Sories, founder of Basketball Society, we appreciate you guys for tapping in with us live and also on the playback. Please, 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 whatever you do, make sure you enjoy yourselves, not just women's basketball. Make sure you enjoy yourself the masterclass that has been the Las Vegas Aces in the WNBA Finals this season. I can't wait to see you all next week. Thank you.